In the headlines, Dominica among OECS countries to receive the AstraZeneca vaccine later this month. Early childhood educators brush up on their skills. And businessman Emil Deputa says companies can survive the COVID pandemic through innovation and thinking outside the box. I'm Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News, back with the details after this.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, Dominica and other OECS countries are among 36 countries and territories participating in COVAX who have received letters about the estimated number of doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine that they could be receiving from the second half of February through the second quarter of 2021. COVAX, a coalition led by the WHO and Gavi, is to ensure equitable access to COVID-19 vaccines. The AstraZeneca vaccine, up to very recently, is still under review by the WHO for emergency use approval. It is estimated that around 35 million doses will be arriving in the Americas in this first stage. PAHO Director Dr. Carissa Etienne says, open quote, with more than 45 million confirmed cases and more than 1 million deaths, countries and territories throughout the Americas, particularly the poorest among them, are experiencing an unprecedented health, economic, and social crisis, close quote. She says the start of vaccine delivery through the COVAX mechanism is a hopeful step in the right direction and in the fight against this virus, and PAHO is proud to facilitate an effort that is urgently needed for our region.
As limited COVID-19 vaccines arrive across our region, countries must also prioritize these early doses for our elderly and our health workers, many of whom are women. Vaccinating health workers first is both the right and the smart thing to do. It will help us save lives, protect our health systems, and recover our economies faster. And as we recover and rebuild from this global crisis, we urge countries to develop policies not for women, but by women, with the full involvement of women, by employing women in their pandemic planning and placing them at the very center of recovery. Women are some of our most powerful leaders, our leading scientists, our best health workers, and our most effective communicators. And we need their help to ensure that communities are adequately supported and prepared as we begin immunization campaigns.
Dr. Etienne says the governments in the Americas now have an opportunity to focus on gender inequities as part of their response to the pandemic.
Across the Americas, women are more likely than men to live in poverty, more likely to face unpaid work, and less likely to participate in our economies. And this pandemic threatens to widen this divide. For many countries, the pandemic has served as an inflection point as they consider how their health, economic, and social policies shaped their pandemic response. We hope that countries seize this opportunity to address the pervasive gender inequalities across our region and ensure that men and women can lead healthy and productive lives.
In more top stories, a well-established businessman is reminded those in the industry to use the COVID-19 pandemic as a learning tool. Emil Deputa, owner of Deepex Color Lab and We Forward, says though his businesses were hard hit by the ripple effects of the pandemic, he has learned to see the silver lining in the difficult situations.
I face a lot of challenges, but I learned some hard lessons too. I've learned to be more patient and forward-thinking as a business person, for starters. Good customer service is crucial to growing of a business. So I continue to train my staff in good customer service practices, both here and also in Florida. Also focus solely on the solutions to my business, rather than stressing on the issues at hand.
Despite the challenges of the pandemic, Deputa was still able to assist COVID-related efforts and charitable institutions.
Last year was an eye-opener for me. Despite being troubled by what the world's going through and not knowing what to do next, I strongly felt that the right action as a businessman was to find ways to give back to Dominica. So we did the following things. We donated $3,000 worth of printed masks, stickers, and other COVID-affiliated materials for distribution island-wide. We relieved St. Vincent de Paul of $200 in freight charges for shipping tablets to their students, less fortunate students. We shipped sporting and educational items for different clubs and schools and other charitable organizations for free.
In other developments, warehouse staff of the Ministry of Agriculture are now better equipped to deal with health and safety matters in the workplace. Julian Morris explains.
The Emergency Agriculture and Livelihoods Climate Resilience Project, EALCRP, held a warehouse management and environmental safeguards training for Ministry of Agriculture staff on Friday. The workshop aims to, among other things, help individuals get a better understanding of warehousing and logistics while looking at environmental safeguards. The EALCRP is a World Bank-funded project, and Implementation Support Team Safeguard Advisor Kirk Brown says this workshop is important as government needs to comply with World Bank standards.
The government of Dominica, in receiving the funding or the loans from the World Bank, has to comply not only with its national laws, environmental and social laws, and health and safety, and labor and other areas, but more so in keeping with what the World Bank requirements are. So, as you've probably experienced to date with your interaction with Mikey and other members of the team, because your warehouse, you'd have been issued or seen the warehouse manual, which governs environmental health and safety.
Brown says the environmental impact of poor warehousing practices can have negative effects on the environment and the people by extension.
Because you are working in warehouses, there are various issues or risks that you'll be faced with on a daily basis. And of course, with the introduction, or let me say the onslaught of COVID, you are required to protect yourself as well and protect those around you. So that's one of the other issues that has come up in health and safety now, which is a burning issue. So whether we like it or not, there are other things that we have to adhere to, which is to protect you so that you are not injured on the job, your activities in operating the forklift, or you handling chemicals, you spill it, you don't dispose of it or collect it properly and dispose of it incorrectly. And then what you have is that somewhere it's disposed of in a drain, just randomly, not saying anybody did that. And then of course you have water pollution and other issues and risks.
Warehouse Management and Logistics Officer of the project, Oliver St. John, says the EALCRP has had a significant impact on Dominicans thus far as the country continues to recover from the effects of recent severe weather systems.
We all are aware of the devastating effect that those natural disasters had on us as individuals, our families, the country as a whole, and more so our economy. So that program being implemented and carried out is certainly something that all of us should proud to be part of, not only as employees, but knowing that we are in fact making a contribution to the well-being and the continued development of our country.
The Pan American Health Organization is pleading with countries in the region to intensify efforts to reduce transmission of the COVID-19 virus, particularly in light of the variants of the virus now in several countries. PAHO Director Dr. Carissa Etienne was responding to concerns that these COVID-19 variants or new strains may be able to diminish the effectiveness of COVID-19 vaccines and increase the number of severe cases. While variants have been detected in 10 countries in the Americas, Dr. Etienne says this is not strange as mutations are common in coronaviruses.
With regards to the efficacy of vaccines, as far as new variants are concerned, we must be assured that scientists and epidemiologists across the globe are looking for answers and solutions and studying the situation. And we must be patient, but hopeful. So whether a booster with an original vaccine or a different one is needed, that is under investigation, and we have no doubt that there will be answers shortly. But in the meanwhile, our recommendation to you is to get vaccinated when the vaccine is offered to you. Do not wait. We must also stress that strong preventive public health measures must be continued and enhanced. Authorities must adjust appropriately, but all individuals and families must adopt measures that are aimed at reducing exposure and spread. You need to ensure social distancing. You need to avoid congregating or gathering in groups. You need to wear masks. And we must ensure frequent hand washing and sanitizing. Please, everyone, this is not the time to let our guard down. Let us ensure that we continue to protect ourselves, to protect others, and to reduce the transmission of the COVID-19 in our region.
In March 2020, PAHO launched the Regional COVID-19 Genomic Surveillance Network, which allows the region to detect virus mutations and variants. Early childhood educators continue to hone their skills for teaching the country's children. Julian Morris tells us more.
The Ministry of Education wrapped up its second day of in-service training for early childhood educators on Friday. Friday's session focused on teaching science and technology at the introductory level for young children. Early childhood coordinator with the Ministry of Education, Vida George, says active learning is critical for good development in young children.
We know that children are naturally curious, but then we expect the teachers to scaffold what it is that they are doing. While they are doing their investigations, we expect the early childhood educators to guide them, to explain to them, to describe what is happening, to engage them in discussion, and of course to provide better learning environments in their classrooms that will enable them to become the little scientists that they want to be.
80 teachers from 33 preschools participated in Friday's training session. George acknowledges that the health protocols may make it difficult to effectively disseminate the information to the preschoolers.
Everything that we are doing, we are keeping in mind that we have to adapt what is happening into the classroom. We have to get them involved, we have to engage them, but we have to maintain the protocols. We have to, as much as possible in their own little way, help them to understand physical distancing and social distancing. That is not very easy at all, because we know as children they are social beings and they tend to really gravitate towards each other. But nonetheless, we try our best. We are trying our best to engage them into activities. So we are planning activities, we are planning lessons, and we are hoping that when we go back, these lessons can help our children to still be engaged, to still be active learners, despite the challenges of COVID-19.
The Early Childhood Coordinator says the work does not stop at the end of the seminar. Rather, the effort to be effective educators is an ongoing one.
After we have left the training, it does not end there. The officers will go into the classroom to ensure that we offer mentoring and coaching. We look at how the strategies are being implemented, and then we support our early childhood educators. And of course, when we come back, then we can have our general feedback sessions. We'll give feedback one-on-one while we are in the classroom setting, but then when we come back as a group, then we can give more general feedback.
In-service training sessions will resume after the carnival season.
You're watching the Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Welcome back. Director of the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, Dominican Dr. Carissa Etienne, says cancer, like COVID-19, exacerbates inequalities. Dominica joined the rest of the world on Thursday in observance of World Cancer Day. The observance was created by the Union for International Cancer Control in 2000. World Cancer Day is held every 4th of February to raise awareness, improve education, and inspire action worldwide with the goal of creating a world where cancer deaths are prevented and cancer care is equal for all.
Those who live in poverty with limited access to healthcare are especially at risk. And yet, about a third of all cancer cases are preventable, with, among other things, good diet, exercise, and timely screening. So as we talk about the urgency of building back better from this pandemic, we are reminded that we must ensure that our health systems can adequately care for patients who are battling COVID-19, but can provide support for the millions of patients living with conditions like diabetes, hypertension, and of course, cancer.
This year's theme, I Am and I Will, is about making a commitment to act and standing up for a cancer-free world. The Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, has officially confirmed the allocation of 74,000 doses of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine to St. Lucia ahead of schedule. Prime Minister Alan Chastanet made the announcement Tuesday night during a wide-ranging address to the nation.
In terms of the vaccine, I have some good news to report. The government was proactive in seeking vaccine options and became a member of COVAX. We've received official confirmation from the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, of the allocation of 74,000 doses of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine ahead of schedule. The estimated time of arrival is mid to late February 2021. The Ministry of Health has prepared the plan for dissemination in a three-phased approach commencing the first week of March 2021. The vaccine will be free of charge and on a voluntary basis. Officials of the Ministry of Health shall be providing further updates and guidance to the public as we prepare for the introduction of the COVID-19 vaccine.
And action will continue on the weekend in the Reno Construction and Kubuli Bear National Domino League. Delvin Esprit is coordinator of the National Domino League.
In Zone A, Wake Up Stars from Portsmouth will travel to Dodan to play one case. Focus from Woodford will be at home to Rockers from Paybush. More Fire from Anzime will play Hobby Tassi in Vickers. And Voxes from Benz will be at home to the winless Roadblock from Tibu. In Zone B, the Dangerous Public Enemies from Maho will travel to Grandford to play Babdad. Tremors from Grand Bay will host Valiance from Monwatchet. Team Reynolds from St. Lucia will travel to Good Hope to play Sting, and Warner will be at home to Casgori. And in Zone C, Golden Arms from Sofia will travel to Maho to play RT Construction. Bay Boys from Pottersville will be hoping to bounce back after 2 heavy defeats when they travel to Taro. And the Red Hot Firemen will be looking to burn Homeboys in the fire station. Delvin Esprit reporting.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, the headlines again. Dominica among OECS countries to receive the AstraZeneca vaccine later this month. Early childhood educators brush up on their skills. And businessman Emil Deputa says companies can survive the COVID pandemic through innovation and thinking outside the box. Feel free to access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis, and to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful weekend.